y'all, it's Jen from You So Much, and I am here today with another Take the Leap episode. I haven't done one of these in a little while, but I had somebody from my mastermind group post today. All of us each post on a different Monday of the month. But basically, she's kind of in a funk. I think that's the best way to say it. She's kind of in a funk and she doesn't know exactly what she's going to do with her business, or if she's going to do her business, or what's going on. And she was just kind of sharing with all of us, which I thought was awesome, because I thought it was pretty brave for her to be able to just say, I don't know what the heck's going on with me. I don't know if anything is going to go on with me, right? And that was kind of her post for the week, or for the month. So anyway, I thought I would give some advice for her and for any of you all who might also be in a funk. So the first thing I would say is to follow your curiosity. This is something that I really love that Elizabeth Gilbert said in her book. I think it was Big Magic. Hopefully I'm getting the name of that title of that book right. Anyway, she basically just says, hey, follow the things that really make you curious. What are you interested in right now? Because sometimes what we're interested in right now can lead us to something kind of cool. And that's what she does when she's writing her books, is she follows her curiosity. It also makes me think of Steve Jobs, who did something similar when he quit his college job. He basically, or it wasn't a job, he just quit college and he started taking classes on fonts. And obviously he had no idea what that would lead to. It obviously led to a computer that had unique fonts, unlike any other computer that had been made before, right? And so follow your curiosity is a really great way for you to kind of, instead of being aimless, think about some things that you're interested in right now and follow that curiosity and see where it leads you. The second thing I would say, of course I'm going to say this, is eat some chocolate for breakfast. And you know, as I've always said, like, I think it's always important to make sure you have pleasure in your life, and it can be pleasure at any time of the day, right? And so when you're doing things that are fun, you're naturally going to, you know, up the vibration, right? It's a common term I've heard, but basically if you're having fun, you're going to attract more people around you who are having fun, right? It's just natural. You know what it's like to be around people who are having fun, because you're naturally feeling that out of them and you're wanting to have fun too. But not only that, one of the things I love about eating chocolate for breakfast is that it's sort of breaking the rules a little bit, right? It's kind of having fun during a time of day when nobody else is eating chocolate for breakfast, right? So think about how you can kind of break the rules a little bit to have your own fun and have your own pleasure. And that's, I think, some of the things that's really hard for a lot of people who are entrepreneurs, is they kind of tend to go, I don't think I should be doing this right now. I need to be doing this. I need to be doing this. I need to be doing this, because they're still stuck in sort of that mentality of having a job, when in reality you have the flexibility of your own life and can do whatever you want. And that goes for you even if you do have a job. In fact, if you have a job, I challenge you to think about how you can have a little chocolate for breakfast, how you can break the rules a little bit and fit in a little fun with what you're already doing. How can you do that? What's something you really love doing, and how can you make that work for your current job or your current situation? One of the things I've been doing lately is going to the movies in the middle of the day. And it's really going to help me with my storytelling skills, and it's going to help me. Sometimes things that intuitively feel like you're kind of cheating a little bit, like I'm like not really doing my work, is actually going to help lead me to being a better storyteller. It's going to help me to be a better copywriter for my clients. It's going to help me to write a better book for all of you to read later. So anyway, so those are the couple of things I would recommend. The third thing I would recommend is to look for synchronicities that are going on around you. I think this is something that a lot of us forget, is that there's little clues and signs all around us all the time. And if we just look for them and just start paying attention, then they really give us a clue to things that are happening for us, right? And so, like, even just this morning, this is a random one for me, but I noticed this morning, it's only a little bit afternoon right now, I noticed 3 lime green Scion cars. Now, of course, they're all over the city, of course, but they just happen to be, like, I parked next to one, then one turned out in front of me, and then I drove by one, like, not only like 5 minutes later. And so I think it's kind of a weird synchronicity. I have no idea what it means. It may not mean anything, but it's one of those things in my brain. I thought, that's interesting. That's going to mean something. I don't know what, but I just have a feeling it's going to mean something for me. So I highly recommend that you just pay attention to the synchronicities in your life, because sometimes they're just synchronicities for you only because it means something to you. And so pay attention to those things in your life where you meet somebody and then somebody says something about that same thing 2 seconds later. Like maybe later on this afternoon, someone will talk about Elizabeth Gilbert and you'll be like, I just heard someone on a YouTube video talk about Elizabeth Gilbert. The next thing I would recommend is think about the things that you don't want, right? That sometimes leads us to the things that we do, because sometimes it's not as easy to go, oh, this is exactly what I want for my life. This is exactly exactly what I want for my business. Instead, think about what are the things that you know that you don't want, and then make a list of those and think about what's the exact opposite, and where will this lead me, and it will help me define exactly where you want your business to go. Another thing you can do is to just take on a project, right? I read somewhere they talked about entrepreneurs, since they just have like this huge picture for their business and they don't know exactly where to go with it. So instead of choosing what your business is all about, just choose a project, right? And work on that one project for a little while. And if you really love that project, it will eventually end up turning into a business, right? So like for me, for example, I tried my project of 28 days of chocolate for breakfast, right? And if I had really, really loved doing that every single day, I might have turned into a daily vlog or something, right? But instead I was like, oh, I really love doing this, so I'm going to continue doing this every week on Saturdays rather than every single day. But I did love it enough to give it a try for a little bit further. So instead of like trying to figure out exactly everything you want to do, what's a project that you can do right now? What's something that really can work for you, that you are inspired by? It might be just something really small. Maybe it's like writing, a song lyric every day, or finding a song you like every day and posting it on a Tumblr site or something. I mean, it could be just something really, really small that gets you lit up and fired up for your day. And then the last thing I would recommend you do, of course, I'm going to say this too, is to have a fantasy. Have a fantasy and write it down. And it doesn't have to be like this end-all be-all fantasy where you want your life to end up. It could just be something small. It could be, an experience that you've been wanting to have, or someone you've been wanting to meet and have a conversation with, and you write a fantasy about sitting down at a coffee shop with them. Whatever it is, have a fantasy and just write that down, because it will inspire you, and you'll be surprised too, I think, at the kinds of things that will start happening in your life, and all these fantasies of yours will start happening because you took the time to sit down and envision it and make it happen. And it will lead you to the things that you love. It will lead you to making your life a fantasy come true. All right, thanks so much, you guys. I really appreciate listening. I hope this helps you. Your friend in my mastermind group, you know who you are, and we'll see you guys all another time. And don't forget to write down your own fantasies, guys, because words make it real. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Thanks, and we'll see you next time. Bye.